kindly leave. In the interest of time, let me quickly share updates on TMI community. Now we are 1300 plus members in the community,
Hello.
and we are growing at a decent pace these days. Our net adds of new members is bit slow, and we look forward to your contribution and your help for the
आपकी आपकी
introduction,
आवाज
and please feel free to recommend TMI
not
community
very clear.
to your friends, colleagues, professionals, classmates, neighbors, and all. So we welcome everyone. Thank you so much for that. Now, let me introduce Rishi Gangoly, our speaker for today. Rishi is a internet entrepreneur and he owns a company called Web Dudes. He is expert in social media as well as digital marketing, and upon top of it, he drives various startups and businesses using his skills in digital marketing and social media. So, Rishi, welcome to you. And this is the Rishi's second session for our community. So, thanks for your time, expertise, and we are grateful to you for your sharing of knowledge. Over to you, Rishi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm just going to share my entire screen and then go to my presentation and just checking with you guys. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, Deepak and
Yeah.
Pranav, if you guys can confirm. Yeah, so it's visible in
Yes. Yes,
Guwahati
it's
now.
visible. Yeah.
Yeah, it is visible.
Great. So
Okay,
thanks for the
great.
confirmation. I'll get started. Today's talk, which I'm going to do, is not a very long talk, so there'll be more time for questions. I'll just be talking about LinkedIn and Facebook and how to use it for lead generation. And let's get started. Before we dive into that, I want to talk about two concepts. We call it the U2. I've learned this from Dharmendra Rai, who's also, I think, been a speaker here at this forum. And he explained this concept called U2. Now, what does U2 stand for? Okay, U2 are two U's that you need to keep in mind. And I thought it's very relevant to bring this up before I start the lead generation talk. And that is whatever products or services that you have must be useful and must be unique. So first, let's talk about useful, right? This is an image I use just to highlight some facts that we can all relate to, right? Uh, we all used to have mobiles that look like the ones on the left, right? And we were doing quite well with them, right? Until Apple launched the iPhone and just changed everything upside down. Everybody had to, then suddenly match up to what Apple decided to do. So although the phone on the left was useful, it isn't it's not useful anymore. Having that kind of a phone is useful to a very small extent, right? Maybe it has more battery power, so therefore you don't have to recharge it every now and then. So they consume so little power, so one recharge will maybe work for a week or something. Whereas the phone on the right is far more useful in terms of the number of features and functionality that you can do on just a phone today. A smartphone today is so many things. It's not just a phone; it's a camera. It's a social media, Instagram posting thing. You're somewhere live. You record photos, send it. It does so much. Navigator to get you from one place to another. Book your Uber, and the list goes on. Point is, I'm trying to make you understand is that if your product or your service used to be useful but is not useful anymore, you might want to relook at your strategies of your business strategy, right? So lead generation will work if what you have is still useful, right? So that's as far as useful goes. So let's talk about unique. And unique is, it can be actually unique, or it can have a perceived uniqueness, which means it's not unique, but the person who's buying it is perceiving it as unique. And this is also very, very important to have in your product or service, because if you don't have something that's unique, then you're like everybody else. And then what you're really selling is just a commodity. And the thing about commodities is the only reason why a person would buy it from you is because you can deliver it at a better price. So you have to make efforts to make sure whatever product or whatever service that you want to generate leads for has to be useful currently, not used to be, but currently useful. And it should have some uniqueness about it, which makes you different from the rest or special, right? Because it can be unique, but it can be shitty. So that's unique. You're the only one with a shitty product or a shitty service. So therefore, it has to be unique in a good way, or at least have the perception of being unique in a good way, like stand out from the crowd, basically. Right? You want to make sure that you are perceived differently. And I'll give you some examples. Okay. I remember this is another example I got from Dharmendra. Right? There was a beer company in Germany called Schlitz, and they were number 7. And this beer company went to an ad agency and said, "Look, we want to be positioned as the number 1 beer company in Germany. So how do we do that?" So the guy said, "Okay, I'm coming down to your factory. Let me take a look at your company and see what can we do." And they looked at the uh, various operations and the factory and all that. And he was like, "Okay, so what's that? And what is this? And what's that? And how does this work?" And he's going on asking questions. And then finally, at one point, he saw that these bottles, which they come back and they get cleaned and again filled with beer and packaged and sent back. This is what's this? What's happening here? Why do I see all this white stuff? He said, "That's steam, because these bottles that come back have to be cleaned with steam. And so therefore, that's what's happening. It's the fastest way. The water is not as good as steam. Steam kills the bacteria. So it's as good as brand new after that. So we use steam to clean the bottles." And he said, "Okay, why aren't we talking about this? I never knew this, that beer companies do this." So this is, yeah, because all beer companies do it, he said. He said, "This is mandatory by law. We have to do this. This is a standard practice that all beer companies, this is not something unique to us." He said, "Nobody knows that. So let's create an ad campaign that talks about how you guys clean your beer bottles with steam." And they did that. And they ran ad campaigns showing these bottles getting cleaned with steam. And the consumer had no idea that this is how bottles are cleaned. And they didn't know that all beer companies do this. So they thought, this is why I'm talking about the perceived value being unique is more important than actually being unique. But because people saw the steam and said, "Oh my God, this is great. We should drink this beer because they clean it with the bottles with steam. So all the bacteria is killed and everything." So slowly and steadily, they rose to position number 1 just because they were perceived as being different, right? So then it didn't matter what the price of the beer is. People just chose that beer because even if it's a couple, whatever, currency more than the other beers, the fact that it was, being sold at, the fact that they had the perception that it was being cleaned with steam and all the bacteria died, they felt they were drinking healthier, better beer and stuff like that. So again, to use is very important. It has to be useful currently, and it has to be unique, or at least perceived as a unique product. And then we can get into lead generation. I just wanted to clear this out of the way before I actually dive into lead generation. So let's get started. So lead generation in LinkedIn is basically if your target audience is companies, like people in corporates and stuff like that. LinkedIn is very, very good for that. Okay, now of course, advertising on LinkedIn is expensive, far more expensive than Facebook. but it also has a lot more accurate data than, say, Facebook, for example. Like, people automatically cough up their credentials, not credentials, their titles, their company name, the previous company, it's kind of their resume is out there in details. So it's very easy to find out if somebody is working in a specific company, because a lot of people today go ahead and register themselves on LinkedIn on their own, and all of this data is given by the people themselves. So even if they switch companies, they update their profiles and add a new company and so on and so forth. But it's over 90% accurate in LinkedIn, whereas you may not be able to target people on companies if you try Facebook. But we'll look at Facebook also after this. So, of course, there's a search feature that most people go to the top and they search for type people that they're looking for and connect with them. But I'm going to deep dive into this because there are a lot of advanced features in the search which will be able to find specifically who you want to connect with, your target. Your target audience is what I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, of course, you want to invite people, right? And I'm going to talk about how to invite people. Then the second step is to follow up with them. So if they accept your connection, you get notified. So you want to follow up with them right away so that you can take the conversation to the next level. And after you follow up with them, I would also suggest you go and get their information, extract their contact details. Best is if you get their email address, because then you can keep in touch with them on email. Because you've already started a conversation with them on LinkedIn, you can then invite them to get added to a list, or invite them to a seminar or webinar that you're doing, and then they get into your list so that you can keep in touch with them more regularly without having to connect with them on LinkedIn directly. So let me just take you for a quick demo. I'm just going to open LinkedIn over here. So over here, can you guys still see my screen? Just double checking before I keep going.
Yes.
Just give me a
Yes, it's pretty visible.
Okay, great. So there's this search button on top. Now, normally people just search for people directly here. That's fine. But if you just click on the search button and then press enter, then what happens? After 5 seconds, you'll see these options will start becoming available. And this is something they kind of miss out sometimes. So here you can search for people, jobs, content, more, the connections, locations, and current companies. But I won't be going through this right now. I'll go directly to all filters. Okay, this on the right side is all filters. You click on that, and you will get this all filter option. And this is really good. There's a lot more options. You can scroll down. There are 2 pages here. Okay, so let me first talk about the connections. So there's first, second, and of course the third is now not available for me. But I can search for people who are already my existing first level connections, or I can also search for people who are connected to the people that I'm connected to. So if I'm connected to Chintan, then whoever he has on his network is my second level network that I'm not yet connected to. Now I know Dharmendra Rai and me got connected to Chintan, so Dharmendra is his first connection and my first connection too. But there are many people who I've still not yet connected to on Chintan's network, which I can potentially access. So if I turn on the second level connection, now I'm only going to search for people who are in my first level connections, their first level connections, which are not on my network. So this is how you expand your network. You start with the second level connections. Then you can choose a region. Like maybe I want to just go specific to Mumbai, and I'm looking for people in Mumbai because that's where I'm from. Or I could search for people in India, or I could search for people in another country. You can just type the first 3 letters of the country, and you will get to see options like something. I wanted Dubai, people are UAE, so United Arab Emirates, and so I got that option, right? So I can connect to people outside also the country. So I'm going to look at Mumbai right now. I'm just going to delete this. And you can search for companies, but I'm not going to look at that right now because I want to connect to many companies. Past companies, if you're looking for people who used to work for a particular company. Industries, This is also very good. You can, again, it's not just these 5 industries. You can just type, say, for example, manufacturing, manufacturing. So there's electrical manufacturing and railroad manufacturing. So there are 2 manufacturing options. So depend what people have fed and LinkedIn has made available as industry types. We can filter based on industry. So sometimes people are connecting to pharmaceutical companies. So you can just type pharma, and then you'll get pharmaceutical companies to choose from and search specifically to that. So right now, I'll keep the industries also open. Schools, contact interest, services, and stuff like that. I'm more interested in the title. Supposing I am interested in contacting business owners of companies, whichever company, but in Mumbai. So I'm going to type owner, and I'm going to click on apply. Now what's going to happen is it's going to search all my second level connections, and it's showing more than 1,000. I've got about 6,800 results, as you can see over here, right? And I've already sent an invitation to Swapan Dalal, but that person has not yet accepted my request. But for example, the second contact, I can connect to this person. I haven't yet connected to Pavanjot. Let me click on connect. And usually I don't click on send. I click on add a note. And then I actually connect by sending them a message. So typically what I do is I check to see, okay, I've got 69 shared connections. That means there are already 69 mutual connections between Pawanjot and myself, right? Because I have a fairly decent number of connections. So maybe many people are common connections between Pawanjot. So I'm going to click on connect, add a note, and I'm going to say, hi, Pawan. This is, not this is, I'm going to say, I noticed we already have 69 mutual connections on LinkedIn. Let's connect and see if there are business opportunities. That's Rishi. So I'm going to click on send. Now notice you can only send up to 300 letters. So you have to keep your invite short, precise, to the point. And that's how I sent one invite. Now, if he is active on LinkedIn, probably tomorrow he will see and he'll check out my profile. Typically, when somebody gets an invite, they get an email. So they can either view the profile and decide if they want to connect to me or not. Now, of course, let's take a look at some of my first level connections inside my people who have already accepted my connections. Right? These are the people who are already owners at various companies, but they are of my first level connection. So I'm going to click on Dimple and let me just check. Once a person becomes my first cable connection, I can click on contact information over here, right? And I can then see if they have given their email address. I can then contact them on email saying that, hi, Dimple, we're connected on LinkedIn, and I can share my profile so she can double check. And I can say that we were connected since November 7th, 2020. We recently connected in November. And I'd like to discuss some, business that we can help you grow your business together because I'm in digital marketing or something like that. So I can send a follow-up message to the person by just clicking on message and write a message with them. In fact, I already have done so. Here's here's a message I've written. Hi Dimple, how are you? Did you know we have 83 common connections on LinkedIn? And I also did a follow-up message. At some point, hopefully, she will read this message of mine and even maybe watch the video that talks about who we are and what we do. And then we can do business. So sometimes people just watch it, they may be busy, or maybe they find what I have to offer is of not really much value to them. But I still keep in touch with them. I send them a message once a month to tell them about some new program that I'm doing or some event that's happening and invite them to it or whatever. And I slowly get customers from here and I convert it into business. Okay. Now, I just will go back to my presentation. Um, and I'll take questions before I move to the next section on this. If there's anybody that has questions, this would be a great time to take questions for specific to lead generation on LinkedIn.
Yeah, Rishi Chintan here. I have a question. How do you manage the list or database of leads? I mean, do you use Excel or how do you manage? Or
Actually,
it is purely in LinkedIn only?
yeah, so it's actually what happens is in the follow-up messages that I send to them, I also sometimes invite them to a webinar, right? When I invite them to the webinar, there is a link to register, right? So that's the best time for them. And those who are interested in connecting with me, they click the link to register for the free webinar, which because maybe the topic is of interest to them. Maybe I'm saying I'm running a webinar called Boost Your Business with Email Marketing. So those who have a business, that's why I connect to owners of businesses. They will register, and once they register into my Zoom webinar registration page, uh, that at the end of the webinar, I extract all the email addresses and names and whatever other details I asked from them, which becomes a CSV file, which can be opened in Excel, which then I import into my bulk mailer application to send them emails every now and then, because they are obviously not just people who are interested to be connected with me on LinkedIn, but they also wanted to attend my webinar. So there's possibilities of then converting them into some business in the future, because I keep sending information to them on email once I've connected with them on LinkedIn. In fact, of course, I always give the option for them to unsubscribe, but that's how I do it. I invite them, they get into my system, and then they get into my email system. Once they get into my Zoom webinar registration, from there I export it into my email list. In fact, I will be doing another session uh, for you guys next month on email marketing and bulk messaging and stuff. So that's it. Once it's in the list, I don't have to worry about the format being Excel or something like that. In fact, there is also LinkedIn automation, okay, where instead of doing this manually, like one invitation at a time, like this, it takes a lot of time and effort. Maybe every day a few hours will go in just sending one invitation to each and everybody. So what we do is we run LinkedIn automation services, and if anybody's interested, in fact, if you just go to Google and you type in LinkedIn automation, there are a lot of tools out there, the software that makes it happen. Uh, Not all of them are easy to use, but for techies, it's easy. For non-techies, it's a bit difficult. That's why we offer LinkedIn automation, so we can do this on behalf of our clients who want to connect to people, but not have to actually send out the invitation. We can personalize and automate these invitations for our clients. And even the follow-up messages can be automated. Of course, post the follow-up message, customers have to do their own one-on-one communication, because LinkedIn is all about one-on-one communication. It's not about group communication. I don't recommend LinkedIn groups at all. They never work. They are hardly effective in terms of conversions from leads. I'm sorry if I answered your question in a very broad way, but I hope I answered your question. If you do have a follow-up.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. You answered my question. Anyone else has got any question? Kindly go ahead.
So suppose you said that capturing the data by a lead form, whereby it will be available with us. But suppose I want to extract the data, how many people has liked, and how many people have commented, whatever maybe. Can I extract in a CSV format? Will be able to do.
So what I see, likes between like, sharing, and commenting. The people who like and share your posts on LinkedIn, they are passive. It will be harder to convert them into business. Uh, People who comment, they had to actually write something. They had to do a little bit more mehnat, ज़्यादा effort लगा. The ones who are comments are the people you should be looking to and sending them one-on-one personalized message, in my view, because they took out the trouble to actually comment. The weightage is more typically who comment on your posts. Again, I just blanket invite everybody because I cannot tell who is a potential customer or a prospect which will convert into a customer or who is not by looking at their designation or looking at their city or the industry. It's very hard. I get all kinds of clients from various titles, various industries, various locations, right? So for me, I don't have a way of figuring out which one to take. I take a blanket invite to all. And when whoever registers from there, because see, the best way to interact with a lot of people is through a webinar. Like right now, I am speaking at one time to many people. Of course, I had to prepare for this day and make all my information ready and be ready to answer questions. But at that point, I feel if you can also do the same thing for your products and services and invite people on LinkedIn for a webinar, which nowadays anyway, because of the lockdown, since then, webinars and coming online is like, तो उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? Everybody is doing it. So it has become a norm. Earlier, it used to be hard to get people to come online. They'll say, नहीं, आप seminar करो, मैं आता हूँ. And they'll go through traffic and everything to come. Right? But now that's all changed, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is I just invite everybody into coming into a webinar. सबको इकट्ठा एक जगह पे कर लो, बात कर लो, जिसको इंटरेस्ट है वो वैसे भी ईमेल एड्रेस है, they will get in touch with you. And then we take it forward from there to close the deal, if there's a deal to be closed.
I understand that business perspective, yes, because the potential customer is how to convert. But for suppose if I get that like and share, it is a future potential customer to me. So if I able to suppose I am doing the 10 seminars, okay, in the 10 seminar a particular person is continuously liking and sharing, so he is also potential customer for future. If I able to extract as a tool or something, maybe I can correlate that this Suresh is continuously liking and sharing. So what I can do for him? That's the way I'm thinking from that angle.
Every month, if I've got say 100 new leads, right? 100 new people have come to me. So I'll take their email addresses extracted through LinkedIn automation, and I will send them an invitation saying that, hey, we recently connected on LinkedIn, and I want to keep in touch with you on email. If you would prefer not to receive information from me, just click the link below to unsubscribe so that you don't receive any more email from me.
Okay. Thank you.
And since I've already said that we are connected on LinkedIn, see, I cannot get the email address until they accept me.
Yeah, correct.
I send out 100 invites, but only 20 people accept. बाकी 80 का गया ना, मेरे को उससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. I am only connecting to people who said accept.
Okay, accept. Okay. Thank you.
I cannot get the email address of the second or the third or the fourth level connection. I can only get the fellow who accepted. That means he has to be part of my first level connection.
Great.
That's the functionality of LinkedIn, right?
Thank you.
Rishi, this is Rishi here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rishi Jagmohan here. I have a question. The way we have Facebook Messenger, where we can automate responses in case somebody send a message. Do we have similar thing in LinkedIn also, wherein the chat can happen like the way we have in Facebook Messenger?
So in Facebook Messenger, you can have a chatbots option. In LinkedIn, there's I've not studied. I can check, I'll double check, and I'll send it to, if you're registered today's event. Let me get back to you on that one. I have to check if they've started chatbots on LinkedIn. But typically, what we do is we do direct connections with people that are connected to us on first level, because you don't have to pay LinkedIn to send a message to your first level connections. You only allowed to send messages to second level connections up to a certain amount of messages per month. Okay. So since you can contact them directly anyway, I say just go ahead and send them a message and a follow-up message. But automatically replying and all that I have not seen. But let me get back to you on this one. I will check it for sure and come back. Maybe
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Last time also, I think Chintan gave me everybody's names and emails, which I will be doing a broadcast tonight to everybody. And if I can find that information on chatbot on LinkedIn, then I will confirm that.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sure. Okay, so great. Then, if there are no more questions, I'll move on to the next, which is Facebook, right? And Facebook is really good for targeting people, their behaviors, their interests. These are the things you can target on Facebook because this is the information that Facebook is capturing, right? So the way the algorithms work in Facebook is whatever people are liking, commenting, and sharing. So they look at the content which was liked, shared, and then they are profiling the person. The AI backend system is busy profiling people so that eventually they can be targeted for advertising. Okay, at the end of the day, Facebook advertising is pretty cheap and you can target to a great extent. So let's take a look at some of the targeting options, right? First of all, not only do you capture everybody on Facebook based on the behavior pattern, they bought over Instagram also, and they have the Facebook marketplace and they have the Facebook network also. So when they advertise across all four platforms. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the options here. I would strongly recommend, and I'll be posting this link on the email to everybody that is registered for today on how to create a lead ad. It's a very good tutorial. I've looked at many tutorials. I found this one to be the best one, and there are many advertising options, and I would recommend go for lead ads. So out of all the options, building traffic, building likes, building this, that, the other, I'm saying forget all of that. At the end of the day, for me, a person is useful if I have his name and his email and phone. That's the minimum I need. Okay, if not phone, at least I should have his email. So at least I can send him an email. So for me, leads, as far as I'm concerned, is only useful if I'm getting the person's name and email. And if I get the name, email, and phone number, nothing like it. Because then I can target him tomorrow, irrespective of whether I have to spend money again on Facebook ads. So this tutorial I'm going to send you, it's not a very long tutorial, it's a very short tutorial. It will teach you step by step how to make a lead ad. There are many ads you can do on Facebook. We are only talking about lead ads because your name, your number, your email is anyway captured with the Facebook system. So whenever you are, typically what happens is people, they have their phone, they are swiping, right? They're just going Facebook में क्या चल रहा है. Every two posts of your friend network, the third one will be a sponsored ad. Now, if the sponsored ad is catchy enough with a good image and you tap on it, then it will pop up a lead. In the lead ad, it will pop up a name, email, and your details, which is already pre-filled, right? This is already pre-filled. So the guy doesn't even have to enter his name, number, and email. Now, I don't recommend just capturing the name, number, email. If you do, you'll get lots of leads, but then we won't know whether they are qualified leads or not. Okay. So let's give an example. I am doing a website workshop coming up next month, and I want to capture leads for that website workshop. So first, I want to capture them by saying that, look, I'm going to give you a free ebook. And if you are interested, click here on how to make a website. Once I give them the free ebook, then I can potentially say that, look, I'm now doing a live workshop. Would you like to come to the live workshop? 500 rupees, 600 rupees is the ticket price. Okay. Now I can target them with their name and email. Now, instead of capturing just their name, number, and email and being done with it, because that's anyway pre-filled out, I ask another question. And usually you can decide for your business what should it be. But typically what I do is I ask, why do you want to make a website? Now, and I leave a blank option over there. He has to actually type something in there. It's like, you know, how we were talking earlier about liking and sharing is passive. But commenting there is active participation required. So this question, no, it requires the person to type something. Otherwise, he cannot press the submit button. And normally when you have press some button to go somewhere, 90% of the time, the guy feels committed enough to fill up the form. Now, if he types on the question which I've asked, why do you want to create a website? And he says yes. Then I know he's a useless lead. अरे मैंने सवाल क्या किया और जवाब क्या दिया? I said, why do you want to make a website? And you're saying yes. means I know he's not going to convert or she's not going to convert into a customer. They will never come into my workshop. They will never pay money to come to my workshop. So I usually like to ask a qualifying question when I'm doing my lead ads on Facebook. I recommend you also do the same. At least you'll get to know who is the serious one. Now, supposing a guy replied, I am a startup and I want to create a website for my company. Now I know there is potential here. He's a startup. उसको जरूरत है website because now people are exchanging cards with the guy and the guy like आपका website किधर है? So he obviously faced that issue. He wants a website. So the high possibility of converting it into a customer to either make a website for him or to teach him how to make a website in my live class. Okay. So take a look at this tutorial. I can't cover this whole tutorial in this seminar, but that's why I'll just give the link. It's pretty good. So let me move on to the next slide and talk about the targeting options. Okay, so targeting, you can base it on gender. Sometimes maybe your product are meant for women. So you may want to target only women or males. So you can specify your Facebook audience by gender. You can also target it based on age, because sometimes your audience has to be 30 plus maybe. Before 30, they are not interested in your product or service. Or maybe for 35 plus or 40 plus. So depends. You can target your audience based on age. You can base it on location. Supposing you have a restaurant, you have a retail outlet, and you can only cater to 2 to 3 kilometer radius from where you are. So you can put a certain place and say only target your ads towards people that are within a 2 to 3 kilometer radius of this location, wherever your retail shop is or wherever your restaurant is, because you can't cater to beyond that. So this is another beautiful thing about Facebook ad targeting. And then you can target based on interests. So supposing you are selling some agarbattis, okay, you got a factory where, and you want to start a retail chain of agarbattis selling it to people in and around your area. So you can look at people who have interest in, say, yoga, meditation. You can type all these keywords and get interest. People who are interested in this, and then now you are getting closer to your target audience. So depending on what you are selling, if you can sell something based on people's interest, then Facebook is a fabulous place to collect leads. Okay, so these are the various targeting options. And that's as far as my lead generation presentation goes. Just one note before I take more questions on Facebook. Next month, once you get the leads, what's next, right? You want to connect with them either on email or WhatsApp, because you either have their email address or their phone number. So how do you do a bulk messaging to all of them in one go? Right, that is my next month's talk, which Chintan again will send you the invitation for. So let me pause this at this point and stop my presentation, and let me go back to the Google Meet. Stop presenting, and I'm happy to take questions now. Or did I stop presenting? Not yet. Now I'm stopped presenting. Okay,
Yes.
great. Any more questions that I can take on?
Yeah, we can put on our camera so that at least we can see each other and then converse better. So, guys, kindly put on your camera so we can see each other, please.
Chintan, you will be forwarding the link to us. This link which he has just now shown, Rishi. Or
You're
you're
talking
sending
about slide deck, or you're talking about the Facebook leads?
Facebook lead link.
Yeah, Facebook lead. I will be emailing it. Chintan normally shares the people who registered, and I send it to only those people who were interested in attending. Maybe they're here, maybe they're not there, but I'll be sending that link by email this evening.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. So now the floor is open for questions, specific questions. I mean, here is the time when we can solve our queries and take Rishi's help for a better clarity. So who would like to go first? Pranav, go ahead. Pranav Bhojak, go ahead.
He may not have a question.
He is my classmate, so I have, I can simply put him on the spot. Go ahead, Pranav.
But really,
Is
we
it?
don't have any gadgets.
Chintan bhai, you can do that with any one of the TMI members now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
You have that
all are
liberty.
like, I mean, all friends are used to such surprises now.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go and I'll do the
I got
question.
some
Can I go
Sure.
ahead,
ideas here.
Rishi?
Yeah, please, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Rishi, I have ran through some ads on Facebook. I've
Yeah.
made some forms also. I have tried only lead gen option only because there are a lot of options. For example, conversion ads and other things.
Yeah.
So I have so far remained with the simplified version only.
Yeah.
But what happens is sometimes there is a I mean I have tried beta version A and B version also, but I mean there is something which is missing in my approach that I mean when I run the single ads they do well. When I run the A and B ads, I mean the both the ads they flop.
I
So
see.
although I fill up the form in both the cases,
Hmm.
so that you form which you mentioned no, just now that you qualify the leads accordingly.
Yes, yes.
So what can
No.
be the reason for it? When the single ads, I mean they do very well.
Hmm.
So I'm more comfortable running only one ad rather than two ads
Yeah,
to do the beta version.
even me, I just run one ad. I don't do this A/B testing. Although I've heard of many people do that. If the ad is not doing well, I tweak the ad. But I also just, I mean, I don't mind. I spend a little money to begin with, like just a few hundred rupees a day to start with, because that's the beauty, right? With Facebook, you can start with as little as $100 a day if you like. So you don't have to invest too much money to test your ad for a few days. So थोड़ा 500 रुपये ऐसे चला गया, doesn't really matter. But then finally, when you are able to get the right thing, then I let it go and then keep running it, and I can increase the budget per day if I like, if the ad is giving me good responses. But you know, leads at the end of the day, it's still not a conversion in terms of into business, right? And you need to get sufficient number of leads, and then a certain percentage of that will convert into business. So you should always keep that in mind. But I still feel lead ads are good because at least you got their name and number and email, right? So now you can keep in touch with them without having to spend. So because sometimes the lead can cost me as little as 3-4 rupees, or it can cost me as high as 20 rupees or 30 rupees a lead, depending on where I've located, where I've specific place which I've located. See, the more you narrow down your search, the higher the lead cost goes up. Once you paid for a lead, you don't want to spend an ad again to create to get more leads, the same lead. That's why I like to get the name, number, and email. Because once I know that this lead campaign I ran for websites, now I've captured him for all website communication. Because tomorrow, until he unsubscribes, he will continue to get information from me on website related information. Then I run another ad campaign on, say, email marketing. There, the lead cost goes up for me because email marketing for me doesn't fetch me that many number of interests in Facebook as much as I can get interests for websites. So the whole idea is to run one ad. If you have to run one ad, big deal. I don't do the A/B testing myself. So you got to go with what works for you at the end of the day. Little bit of
Okay.
experimentation here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Right. Correct.
I have a question for anybody actually out here. It's just like Jagmohan Rishi, you also got my name. Uh, so, are there other people who, like Rishi has experimented? Are there any other people who have experimented on Facebook lead ad campaigns? And in this forum, I can see about 26 people here. Okay, probably your businesses are not targeting people's interests. Maybe LinkedIn would be better, I guess. Most of y'all are corporate. Y'all need to connect to corporate, I guess. So I guess LinkedIn would be better for y'all. Yeah. Jagmohan, just a question. What exactly is your product that you're capturing leads from Facebook? What is your
No,
business?
I let me be very frank with you. I keep on experimenting. I'm into also a corporate, but since I learned the Facebook ads, I keep on dabbling with the Facebook ads. So far, I've not dabbled with LinkedIn, basically to free my hands.
Uh,
So I keep a budget of 1,000, 2,000 rupees a month, so that I understand how it is working, and I am
Great.
trying to master it. I
Very
also tried one thing I'll share with you. It's a pretty interesting case study. I targeted the entire world excluding India. a particular product of
Okay.
mine. It is for coaching purpose.
Yeah.
And I targeted only the capital countries of the world. I mean, not all. It's very very large, but some leading European and US countries.
Yeah.
So I got a pretty good response from that.
Okay. Great. Very nice. That's good. That's good. Great. Anybody else have questions on LinkedIn automation? You guys could Google it and check it out. And later, I'll also be sending you guys information on some options if you want to go for LinkedIn automation to expand your network fast on LinkedIn, and that to specific titles, specific locations, specific industries. The LinkedIn automation can be quite powerful to build a network fast on LinkedIn. So I'll send you guys some information on that this evening. But if anybody has questions on LinkedIn,
Yeah, Deepak had a question. Deepak wants to share his query. Deepak, go ahead.
Yeah, like we had been running the ads or we had been promoting things on Facebook and LinkedIn for capturing the leads. And basically, this is done by a third party. And we have not been able to generate good, or I have not found the worth regarding that. So where am I like lacking, or like what should be my approach, or how should I look into the person that is he doing his job correctly, or why are we not getting the results?
you posted an ad in Facebook or LinkedIn. Where did you say you
On both, we promote like whatever ads or whatever thing comes up. Say if
Yeah.
we are taking any project and we do the marketing it on LinkedIn and Facebook, so we don't get the calls or we don't get the data properly.
You all ran on both cases? You ran lead generation or just traffic?
That I think that I need to check because I'm not pretty clear with both these two words, the traffic and lead generation. I think you mean are two different cases,
See,
correct?
traffic is meant for a landing page. Like, say, for example, you have a website. A landing page is a page which will not have any links going outside the page. If there are links, it will go inside this page only. They don't even have the navigation bar menu. They don't have social media property links. Nothing. It's just वो घोड़े पे लगाते हैं ना blinders.
Blinders, yes,
लैंडिंग पेज
exactly.
का मतलब तू इधर आया है ना बस इधर ही रहने का don't go anywhere else. Now, typically, when you build a landing page with the information that you want to showcase to the person who clicked the ad, and there will be some call to action either to click the button to buy or to enter their details, right?
Yes, that is the case.
So typically, when those are traffic-based ads, not lead generation ads.
Okay.
Now, of course, you'll get traffic and the amount of price point you'll pay is low, but then the ad that you run for traffic, you should, whether it's on Facebook or wherever, you should set the parameters for the interest level. So because a lot of people हाथ दब जाता है when they are swiping, they tap an ad by mistake also. And they किया अरे यार बंद कर दो, and आपका पैसा चला गया on that link. When they tapped it, the moment you tap or click a link, they will deduct your balance for whatever the click charges are. So the idea is to also have an ad that clearly describes what they're going to get if they tap or click. And then when they land at the landing page, then you just say, Jairam ji, we hope they fill up the damn form and or the click and buy or whatever it is. But typically, I find that money is gone. Of course, unless your goal is मेरे को chat नहीं करना है. See, right now we are talking about lead generation. So lead generation, what for me is a lead? I don't know what it means to other people. For me, a lead means I need the guy's name, email, minimum, and number ho to or be better than. Because just having that I got 5,000 clicks means nothing for me. मेरा तो पैसा चला गया, 5,000 क्लिक आ गया, लेकिन उसके बाद क्या, मेरा पास किसी का नाम नहीं, किसी का नंबर नहीं, किसी का ईमेल नहीं, and I'm like, what the hell? मैंने पैसा खर्चा किया. I have nothing in exchange for that. So I like to get a lead based on an ad. And as I said, the ad must qualify. Put one qualifier. I don't mind paying a little bit more to qualify. So instead of 2 rupees a click, I don't mind paying 20 rupees a click. Chalega. But at least that bugger had to fill up that fourth question: name, number, email, and then he had to say why he wants what I just told him he's going to get. Whether it's a website course or whatever product you want to highlight or promote, whatever, why they want that. Like supposing real estate. Okay, we should ask them, are you looking for 10 option drop down? 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 4 BHK. Now he has to select something from there. Now his involvement is higher than just ready-made. Because naam, number, email is anyway pre-filled. Usko koi mehnat nahi ho usme. But now he have to select 2 BHK, 3 BHK. I'm just giving an example, real estate. Maybe not appropriate for Facebook, but the point is that when somebody clicks an ad, he sees a tower building or something and clicks and he wants to see what's next. This is the area. Powai mein ye flats hai. Are you looking for, this BHK? Are you looking for gym facilities? Or, ask 2-3 questions. More
So
questions.
in other ways, maybe you can map it with the available inventory you have, and then say that okay, fine, I have an apartment in Kolkata, Salt Lake area, you have an inventory in Jamshedpur or Patna or in Guwahati, and then let me specific rather than generating blind one. You say okay, fine, ये इतना बेचना है, इसके ऊपर lead generate करके लेके आना. You do the other way around.
That would not be a good idea because you should target your. See, people will most likely buy property in and around where they are. So
Exactly.
So you should not give like 2 different city options because they will not go to live in another city and buy. If I'm advertising in Bombay or Calcutta, it is either or typically. I'm just giving as an example of real estate, but yeah, I think you should look at questions that will help you to qualify the lead so that you can gauge the seriousness. Even if your click charges go up to $50 a click, a lead is fine, but it will be worth it because otherwise you'll have 50 phone calls to do at ₹1 a lead. Here, 49 fellows will not fill up the form because he had to fill up so many options. But the bugger who filled up all the options, he is the guy who will buy a property. Most likely, he might convert. Typically, when we do Google ads for properties, we use Google actually, not Facebook and LinkedIn. And there we capture leads. And in the lead capturing process, what we do is we ask some qualifying questions. And out of say 1.5 lakh spent per month, we get around, like in the New Bombay, we get around 100 to 90 to 120 leads, of which 20 walk-ins will happen and maybe 1 or 2 deals will get closed, which is more than enough. It recovers the 1.5 lakh spend because the cost of the product ticket size is high, so therefore it covers the cost. But yeah, because usually people are typing in Google, they're searching 2 BHK Powai or something like that, or Salt Lake City, whatever, right? So like that, it happens. But of course, I'm not covering Google ads. I'm specific with LinkedIn and Facebook. We do ad campaigns for clients as well. So if you have a specific ad, Deepak, and you want to check here is what was wrong with my ad, we can review it and give you our inputs and suggestions as to what we should have changed. In fact, we do that for
Sure, I'll do that. I'll get connected to you.
Yeah, post this call.
And there is a discount code as well. You need to say TMI community to avail special discount.
Exactly.
Okay,
Also,
great.
if others don't have, like if we are not running short of time, Rishi bhai, if you can just show us how do we check that out on Facebook, like where do we look for this lead ad generation and how do we check the data? If you can just guide us on that.
Yeah, sure. I'll try that. Just a second. 6 बज गया. मुझे दवाई लेना है.
Oh.
All well, Rishi?
I had a heart transplant last year.
Oh.
So this is medication for that. I know. Sounds a little like, should heart transplant work? But I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. You really begin to, value life.
Exactly.
Completely agree with you. Good point.
I mean, I'm really happy to be alive. So give me a second. Let me hit on share screen. Entire screen. Here we go. Share.
Rautji, you have a question, so you go next.
Okay, so you guys can see my screen now, or it's still sharing?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, so let me go to a new tab here and click on my famous Facebook ad creation tool. So typically, when you go to your ads manager and you create an ad, I'll show you. I think it's the first option that comes up. Deepa, I'm guessing you're familiar with this screen, right? This is,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Now, of course, I'm running a different ad campaign here right now. This is a new free course that I've got called Inbox Zero. This is like for those who use Gmail, this is a productivity free short course. My daily budget is like $100. And right now I've got about 42 clicks, and it was shown to 2,182 people. And totally, it kept showing it about 2,800 times. So the per cost click, every time somebody clicked my ad, they charged me 3 rupees 27 paise, and total 137 rupees has been spent so far. I'm going to run this ad till 7th December and see how it fares. So I've got this course running, but this is not a lead generation ad campaign. So I'm not going to show you this one. You want to know how to choose the lead campaign. So I'm going to click on this create button, which is green over here. You guys can see this create button.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so when you click on create and you get the options to create a new a landing new campaign, you'll see in the second one, the second last option, there's lead generation. Can you guys see this lead generation?
Yes.
Great. So this is what you should select for capturing the name, number, and email. You forget everything else. Just go for lead generation, and then you can give your name, campaign a name. I just call this test for now. I'll call the ad set also test, and ad also test. You can choose, of course, more appropriate names for your campaign, ad set, as well as ads. All right, now let's take a look at the options here. Um, so you can change this to a smaller number, like maybe $100 to start with, and then you can bump it up to 200, $300 if you're willing to spend more money. Okay, daily budget, and next. Now, when I go to the ad set, of course, you need a page. Do you guys have a page when you're
Yeah.
creating this ad, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need a page to run it on. And then let's see, create a catalog, budget, create an audience. So this is, so here you can specify, like for example, I was talking about locations, right? So let me say, where do I add, right?
Like Guwahati, if I am targeting.
Yeah, let me just search locations. So, what is the area in Guwahati? What are you dealing in? What are the products and services you're dealing?
Commercial
Real
and residential, both real estate.
Sorry?
Real estate, both commercial and residential.
Guwahati spelling is G-O.
No, GUWA
Okay.
HATI,
HATI. Guwahati, Assam.
Assam, India. Yeah.
So you select that. And then now India has disappeared and it is only focusing around this area. Okay. So fine. Now I can choose the age bracket, right? Oops, sorry. So maybe people who are post 35 are okay to buy property.
Exactly. Post 30, 35, what we target.
Yes, okay, 30. Okay. 30, and then upper age limit will be what?
60 up to we can go for.
Up to 60. Okay. Then do you want to focus on males since they are the spending members, or even women is fine?
Male generally we target, but male female we go for both also. in this
Okay, fine.
case.
So you can see, run it one by male, one by women, and see where you get better spend. Okay.
Okay.
And demographics details. So now this is where the interests, right? So I don't know whether this is good for real estate. Let's see. Suggestion. So it's not there, no? Real estate is not there. This is not the right place for that.
No, this is the profession you'll have to pick up.
Oh,
No?
wait.
So you'll have to say
So,
software or
so
industrialist or something.
it is there, it is there, it is there. Sorry, my bad. So real estate. So people who are looking at posts related to real estate, liking, sharing this thing, will get targeted in Raw. It might be a very small number, but that is how it is. So you can keep going for suggestions and real estate investing interests, luxury real estate, depending on what you believe are. You have to
The
experiment
kind
here,
of project, yeah.
kind of thing. So their interest, you can base target based on their interest. Okay. And then let's see, automatic replacement manual. Uh, let's see. Okay, so we go next. I want to just see the form and I'll show you the form level next. So, for example, let me just create the ad set. So then you can put the building property like so still loading. Hold on. So typically, I would go with a single image. But typically, if you have the building photograph or the room layout photograph, that would be an interesting image to select. Um where is that option? Oh yeah, sorry. Edit media. So change image and then choose the right image. Okay. I'm not going to choose any image because I don't have any property images. But that image or video will come over here and show you how to look in various formats. Right now, I think the next is primary text. What should be there? Like say, so now here property offers will come on top over here. Can you see this?
Yeah. Yes.
It is still coming. It's not yet come, but the preview will come. There it is. Property offers. Then headline will come here below. This is optional, but you can write here. Yes. This will typically come somewhere below, I think. Yeah. So this comes here somewhere. This headline is showing you get billed to your property. Okay. And you can add description if you want. And you can also, if you want, you can take them to the website. But I typically prefer them that they go to the sign up
Website.
form and fill up the form, instant form. Right.
Okay.
In the form, I can create a new form and I can say this form is for property and higher intent I want. I don't want volume. So in the intro, use the image from your ad if you want, or use another image. Headline is uh, find the right property. Okay, and then you can put some para if you want. Here are the questions. So typically, the standard question would be name and email, but typically I would go with phone number. So you can add a question, uh, short answer. So this will be phone number. You know, uh, is it? Oh, sorry. Here is the phone number. Sorry, that's the wrong place. You have to add it as a category. And then I would add another information. No, I think that would be the question, which is not a short answer, but multiple choice. I would ask typically, uh, what type of property are you looking for? And we can say 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 2 BHK. So typically, the guy will have to select one option from here, right? Apart from his name and number and stuff. Yeah. Then you can go to the privacy policy and add the policy. Then you can do the review scene. So these asking for email, full name, number, privacy policy, and then finally completing is thank you, Rosar. You can visit our website now. So the moment they finish that, you can actually put the link of the website after you've captured the lead. So लीड कैप्चर करके फिर वो वेबसाइट पे भेज दो, प्रॉपर्टी का वेबसाइट पे भेज दो, which will be another landing page if at all to show him the property and stuff. But you already captured the guy's details. Of course, I'm going to close this now. One second. Any questions so far on this?
No, Rishi bhai, thank you so much. Let me explore this page a little more.
Correct. So I'm going to close that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Let me stop presenting.
Thanks, Deepak. So who goes next? Rautji, Gajanand Raut. Hello. Okay, we have.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Gajanan Raut.
Yes.
Rishi, my question is in this one interest section. Whether how we can drill down further. Suppose I'll give you the use case. Suppose I have the online Six Sigma certification courses, and I want to select whose interest is in Six Sigma certification, and he is from the manufacturing and service domain, and I want to exclude the people from the IT domain. So how I can work on this?
So when you get the option for interest level, there's a browse or suggestion. You type Six Sigma and see if it comes on the list. If it's not there, then you can't add it in there because it will only show you what it is tracking. So Facebook has a built-in tracking AI system that tracks certain interests. If it is there, you can search for it. If it is not there, then that's a sign that you should not be using that because you will not be able to track it. And then there's also below that there's exclude option, which I didn't show, but it is there. In that same section, the next question is exclude IT.
Yeah, I have seen exclude option is there.
Yeah, exclude option is there.
Okay.
Yeah, but what is your preference? You prefer this kind of professional environment LinkedIn or Facebook?
For Six Sigma?
Yes.
I think LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Shweta Mandhana, do you have any question? Darshil, Firdaus, Harshad, who is HR admin? If you can just put on your name, that would have been better. Anyway, Jitendra, Kajal, Karan, Amir.
Hi, sir.
Hey, hi, Kajal. How are you?
Hi, sir. I'm back to Bombay finally after a very long travel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great.
And
Harsh has been posting so many pictures, Banaras, etc., right?
no, sir. We went to 7-8 locations, Ayodhya and Prayagraj, Sangam, and all a lot of places, sir.
Good.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Great. So please share your query to Rishi. Yeah.
Rishi, I wanted to know how can I easily learn LinkedIn Sales Navigator and how important is it for marketing in the business, world?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, Sales Navigator is the top of the line premium package that you can buy. So I've used it and I found it very useful. Now, for example, I don't know whether you saw my presentation. I did a demo on how to search based on some advanced filtering patterns. Were you there at that time? Were you able to see my screen, or you will be watching the recording later?
No, sir, I have joined very lately. I've just come very soon.
No, no problem. So the recording, as usual, will
Uh,
be available. You'll see
Sir,
the
LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I've interacted with LinkedIn Sales Navigator and I have some insights on the basic searching techniques.
yeah.
But then when I'm looking for, let's say, I want to, if I want to look for the credit rating of the companies and all, such type of advanced search.
See, I don't know about the credit rating. I'll have to check on that. But in Sales Navigator, a couple of my customers went for that package because number one, you can search for higher number of people in a batch. So, for example, on LinkedIn regular version, I can search for only the first 1,000. Now, although when I'm searching in my second level connection, I can see 6,000 contacts, but I don't know where the 5,000 odd are because I can only connect the first 1,000 in the regular version. So in one page, you get 10 contacts. Page two, you'll get 10, 30, 40, 50, like that. Up to 100 pages, you will see means 1,000 connections. So the 1,001st person, I will never be able to connect even if I wanted to on the regular version. But 1,000 also is a good number. In Sales Navigator, I can go up to 2,500. So two and a half times more you can go in Sales Navigator. That's number one. Number two is that in the search filtration, I don't know about the credit rating of a company, but typically, if you look for, say, employee size strength, that is not available in the regular version. In Sales Navigator, like couple of my clients, they said, Rishi, we want to connect to large companies because the title CEO is not important for us. It can be chief operating, whatever, something officers. You can take any chief. So you can say chief this, chief this. You can search on multiple titles in one go,
CSOs.
right? You can search for multiple titles and you can say employee size strength 500 employees above, because he says like for me 100 employee company size, he will not pay 5 lakhs for my training. So मुझे उससे contact करना ही नहीं. I don't want to get in touch with such a person. So Sales Navigator has advanced filtering option, and employee size strength was one that was very powerful for them because the moment they switched, they paid additional 5,000 rupees a month for Sales Navigator, and they found it very beneficial because they were connecting to the key type of that they wanted to connect to, not just faltu mein any CEO, but specific CEOs or specific chief dash dash multiple chief titles of employee size strength. And sometimes you never know, they might be chairmen, they might be vice presidents, they might be so many senior positions are there. So in Sales Navigator, you can search across, you can just say seniority high, and then that will cover even the designations which you missed out on. And so you'll find more more filtering in Sales Navigator, which is actually what you want. You want higher filtering so that you get the right person in
Yes, I want to narrow down the crap and focus on what I actually want to look for.
yes.
So that is,
Yes, yes. Otherwise, you waste a lot of time connecting with people that are
of
not your
course.
target audience. Yes, correct. Right.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, is there any easy way to see all the features of the Sales Navigator where a proper tutorial or something is there for using that? Because I'm sure it must be having a lot of features which we don't know yet.
Yeah, LinkedIn has their own tutorials. I'll do one thing. I can this evening I'll try, or maybe tomorrow I'll try to find a good one for LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And anyway, I'll be sharing that information with the registered participants for today's session. And so not only you, but everybody else will benefit from that. I'll try and find one that is good
Yeah.
for them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, Rishi,
Thank you, sir.
one query
Yeah.
I'm having. How to
Yeah.
download the after navigate after searching when you find out the requirements as per our search. So how to download and convert or migrate to Excel file or your any of the APIs? How to do that?
Yes. Yes. So if you go to Google, let me share my screen. So you guys can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go to Google and I'm going to type. I'm going to type on LinkedIn automation. So you'll see an ad. So this one is the top of the line one, best LinkedIn automation tool. This will help you to extract email addresses in an Excel file. I use this one particularly. I've not tried Expand.io, but these are top 10 LinkedIn. So this is a blog article. There's many more which you can look up over here. This is 7 working LinkedIn automation tools you should use now.
Yeah.
Again,
Earlier, what happened? You can tag with your email, Microsoft or any email exchange or Google, or you can download directly from the Excel format. But now I think they have disabled that feature.
no, that's why I'm saying go for LinkedIn automation. So that this is the third-party service provider. Okay, these are automation tools which will automatically extract the contacts.
Okay, it's all our paid tools, correct?
These are paid tools. Yes, correct. Yes, you're right.
So which one tool do you suggest to use it?
This is the one I use, the first
And
one.
how the cost factor on that?
Sorry, come again?
Cost factor.
Oh, the cost. Hang on, I'll tell you. So here they have prices. If you go here, they have a 1 month option for $15. Then they have a discounted price of $30 for 3 months. That's $40 for 3 months. Then they have $60, which works out to $10 a month for 6 months. And I bought this package because this is brilliant. This is a fabulous software. This is the best.
Okay, so
I
it's a more useful you are saying for the corporate world, corporate marketing team.
Sorry, come again?
It's a more useful tool for corporate marketing, correct? For lead
Yes.
generation.
If your target audience is corporates, then LinkedIn is the platform, and this is an automation tool that will be able to do the things all automatically for you. You don't have to one by one, like, for example, right now, as I told you, I have to go to contact info, then I copy her name, I copy the email address, and if she had a number, then copy and then punch it in manually, one at a
Correct.
time. That's a very time-consuming job. So instead of that, I'd rather spend $100 a year and then extract it automatically. Right? This tool will allow me to do that.
So then can I migrate that tool to my your marketing tools like HubSpot or
Yeah,
Sprinkler
yeah,
and monitor it?
yeah. Absolutely. That's what I do. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much, Rishi.
yeah. Sure. No problem. Great.
Rishi, this just emerged from the question. This question is just from the answer which you gave. Like you use HubSpot?
I use a bulk mailer app, which is our own tool, which I'll be talking about next month. That is for email marketing. For me, my conversions happen because people are following me. There's not something specific that I'm selling them. I'm selling them a whole bunch of stuff, and because they are already following me, like I get rid of people who are not opening my mails, right? So whenever I send a mail to my list, I also watch how many people are unsubscribing is good. They're gone. I'm not. If they don't want to know information from me, I also don't want them. I don't want to waste money on sending them an email. So every time I grow my list, I also watch how many people are opening my mails, and I only keep a track of those people who are opening my mails. Today, out of 25,000 email addresses, about 9,000 are opening my mail. So I send it only to those 9,000 nowadays. So my open rate is very high. Sometimes I get open rates as high as 65% open. The norms are about 12%, 11%. But my open rates are high because I keep narrowing down my audience to people who are interested in knowing what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about technology. I might be talking about this technology, that technology, and at some point, there is a hit. There are many misses, but there are a lot of hits also. So I use the LinkedIn automation to get new people to come in, prospects to come in, but then I transfer it to my email list so that I'm in touch with them on a regular basis, like once, twice a month. I send them an email. Twice a month, I send them an email, like that.
And this email response or email activity of a particular end user who's receiving the mail, you are tracking it through your own tool only, or is there something else?
Yeah, so bulk mailer
Yes.
app tells me who's opening my mails, who's clicking on the link. See, now click means the guy is doing even one step further, right? And usually I capture them at the next level. Wherever I have told them to click the link, I capture their data there also. So I know that, okay, from a database of 2,000 people, 150 people actually clicked the link and they registered in my other, wherever I've asked them to register.
It doesn't go to spam.
Sorry, I didn't get that question.
How do you ensure that it goes to spam? They're selling bulk.
Am I audible? I don't know if I can't hear Jitendra.
You are audible, but Jitendra Bhai is not.
Ah,
Jitendra Bhai, there's some audio problem at your end.
Am I audible now?
now we can hear you. Just repeat your question again.
I was saying that these email, when we use the word bulk.
Not yet. Not clearly yet.
Oh.
Can't hear. Can you type in your question in the chat maybe? How do we ensure that mail doesn't land into spam? Oh, that's something you cannot ensure. Spam, I'll explain to you spam. So, for example, there are some things you can take precautions for to make sure your mails don't land up in not spam as much as promotions. Now, for example, the way spam works is the end user decides what is spam and what is not spam. So maybe some person who's receiving my mail, if he has marked mails that I send or similar mails that people who send mails like me, let's say I'm talking about technology, and he's been marking spam to all people who are sending technology related emails. Now, the AI spam folder that is getting developed for that specific email address is figuring out what is spam according to that gentleman or that woman, right?
Okay.
And so, therefore, my mails that are going to everybody are landing fine in their primary tab folder, but to that person, it's going into spam folder. And so, I'm losing out on that guy. And so, there's the hit and miss. And that's why I look at the open rates, right? Those who are opening my mails means they are receiving my mails because they are not marked me or my kind of email as a spam mail. So really, I cannot ensure that my mail will end up in the guy's primary tab. That's not something in my control to begin with. If anybody tells you that it is something that it is in your control, I would stay away from such a guy because it's not possible. It's not in your hands. It's in the other guy's hands. Number one. Number two, of course, you can try and lower your chances of your mails getting into the promotion folder, for example, because I was doing a seminar once, and I asked this question like, how many people go and check their promotion folder? Nobody raises their hands, because they don't. Nobody checks on the promotion folder. Promotions it's like a pseudo spam folder.
Correct.
So what happened was one lady put her hand up. I'm like, she actually checks her promotion folder. Yeah. There is a unique case where this lady put her hand up and she said, "Yeah, I check my spam promotion folder." I said, "Oh, okay. So you like to look at product offers and you like to
Right.
see what's happening?" She said, No. I every day go to promotion, select all, and delete messages every day. So I said, okay.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
So what you can do is you can make sure you don't do things like sending images always, like because sometimes when you send an image, it may end up like the email application may think that this is the image, so that means it's a promotion, so put it in the promotion folder. So I try and stick to plain text most of the time. 80% of the time I'm sending plain text. Sometimes I do send images because I want the impact to be created. At least those who are busy checking my mails are regular, so they will see the message. So it's not like when I put an image, it will always go to promotion also. There are many people who are receiving my mails even though I'm sending an image in my email. So sometimes I send an image, but if you want to lower that chance, then drop that image from your mail and give them a link to click and let them see the image or the video on the link. Another thing you can do is in your mail subject line, you can avoid using the words like free in the subject line. That will lower your chances of the mails going to spam or promotion. We'll come to primary tab maybe.
Right.
Also put the date. So if you're doing an event, put the date in the subject line itself. That increases your chance of the mail landing up into the primary tab instead of the promotion tab. There are some like these few things you can do. These are the few things that come to mind. So try that. See if you put a date in your subject line and see if those mails you get a higher response or you get a higher open rate. If you do, then practice that continuously, always.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Rishi sir.
Yes.
Sir, after this seminar, I would really request you to share all the free tricks and tips, if possible, like these, on the group, so that we can have and we can try them and explore them and see what we can adapt for our mailing style.
Sure. In fact, I will send you guys a link in the email to subscribe to my list. And so for those of you guys, once or twice a month, I keep sending these tips on whenever I get to know about these tips. Like sometimes I send a series of about 15 emails on powerful subject lines to get people to open your mails. Because people are receiving the mail sometimes in primary tab, but they're not opening the mail. So I used to have these type of series also of emails. So I'll send you guys the link. You all can go and then just click on the link and subscribe. And every time I send mails, you all will get a mail from me with these tips and all that.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now let us move on. We will we'll give opportunity to Nitika, Parvez, Radhakrishnan, and Rakesh. Do you guys have any questions? Kindly unmute yourself, put on your video, and share your query. Abhay.
Hello. Hi, Rishi.
Yeah, sure.
Parvez
Yeah,
here.
Parvez, go ahead. Go ahead,
Simple
Parvez.
question. In LinkedIn, there are apparently some limits in terms of how many people you can send, a message to get connected with them.
Yes.
What's that about? And if you are paying them something or you're a paid member of LinkedIn, does that go away or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there is a limit. You cannot send more than 100 invitations per day.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest you stay under 100 invites.
Right. Yeah.
And don't only send invitations. Like, so supposing for 5 days you send invitations.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you send 500 invites. Then stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of that 500, normally the ratio is 10 to 20% will accept.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if 20% accept that, you got 100 new people to talk to. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because they just accepted your connection, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So write to those 100 people a message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next 2-3 days, you just write to these people and have a conversation with them for 2-3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, after 2-3 days, again send another 100 invites per day for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep that cycle going,
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn's algorithm will see there's a pattern here. This guy is not just increasing his contacts, he's also communicating with them. See, they want to see a balance between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, if you keep exceeding your invitations and you invite, then they will say, okay, now cap this month, you can't send any more. Next month, again, it'll reset and you can send invites again. So the moment you get emails like that, messages that pop up that says you cannot connect to more people, that's a sign that you need to contact and start sending messages to your people who have accepted you for a while now. Till next
Mm-hmm.
month, don't do anything but just communicate with these people. Send them
Mm-hmm.
offers. Talk to them about some upcoming webinar. If you launched a book, tell them here's a link to get a chapter, or some communication. Keep the communication engagement going on. Give,
Mm-hmm.
make offers always. Always make
Mm-hmm.
offers. Give valuable stuff to people. Then
Mm-hmm.
suddenly your option to open it up will increase. Of course, they will prompt you to go and upgrade to the premium version. And if you don't mind spending the money, go all the way to a Sales Navigator version. The limits to invite will increase also. But
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest don't stick to more than 100. LinkedIn is all about the one-to-one communication. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about group communication,
Okay.
because people are there to connect to you one-to-one. So I
Mm-hmm.
always make sure even if I'm doing LinkedIn automation, it's personalized. Okay, it is going out to them. The offers are going out to them specifically. And when they reply back, I reply to them. I don't make a point to not reply to them. Every day I will check my LinkedIn on a daily basis, and I do one-to-one communication. Of course, I try and automate the invitations. I automate the follow-up messages, and then I even send out messages, one-to-one messaging with them in the future also. But replies I handle one at a time, because they're not many. Not many people are active on LinkedIn also,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they're not interested in what I send them. So it's not I am overwhelmed with the replies,
Mm-hmm.
but I slowly convert them into email lists at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Because the automation allows me to extract the email addresses if it's available for extraction.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're sending a connection request to somebody, either they don't accept it or they reject it, is that held against you as a negative mark, or does LinkedIn, check on that? Okay, you're sending links which are not accepted, or does it count in some way?
See, I don't know. I can double check that whether if I don't know how many people actually go and ignore. They just leave it. They don't have the time to ignore the request.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people will actually go and say, "No, isko ignore kar dal."
Yeah.
They'll either accept or they'll just let it be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It will queue. I've seen many times. I go to first time to the LinkedIn account, and then they're sharing their screen, and I can see like 250 people have requested to connect with them. They have done nothing about it. It's just like so that happens to most of my clients. So mostly, I think people just let it be. They don't ignore. They don't particularly click on ignore. And also your invite lists. If you go in your LinkedIn, you'll see how many people you send invitations to.
Mm-hmm.
If you send for more than 2 weeks old or 3 week old invitations, wipe it out.
Mm-hmm.
Withdraw them. You can just select and withdraw all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest regularly remove your any invitation that is older than 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
उसको तो निकाल ही डाल मतलब वो LinkedIn check ही नहीं कर रहा है. They are not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't keep it in your pending invitation. उसको you go scroll to three weeks and above
Mm-hmm.
and उड़ा दो every time.
Mm-hmm.
Clear your queue also. If your queue is clear and you got very few people in the invite list, that's just 30-40 people, that's okay. But if you got 500 people in the queue, then it's time to purge it and get rid of
Right.
it. Because they are anyway not accepting, they're not connecting. Either
And
they're
other thing is,
not accepting you or they are not active on LinkedIn. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
other thing is, you can look
Okay.
at their profile
Thanks,
also
Rishi.
if they are active on
Yeah.
LinkedIn or not, because at
Mm-hmm.
times it happens that they are senior leaders,
Yeah.
but they have only 100 connections.
Correct.
So they don't actually usually they don't accept request. Other thing
Mm-hmm.
is their connect at times their LinkedIn is handled by some third party company.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Right. Thank you
So
so
you
much.
can check on their activity on LinkedIn.
Right.
Great. You're welcome.
Yeah, who goes next? Abhay, Darshil, Harshad, Radhakrishnan. You have to type question.
Oh.
Rakesh, Samir, Sandip, Somanti, Manav, Vaibhav, Vasant.
Oh, yeah, I should also post more LinkedIn.
How to set all-star profile.
Hi, this is Vaibhav.
Hi, man.
I was listening to this. I was planning to start some marketing about my safety smartwatch. for seniors and children. So I think as I gather, Facebook would be the more appropriate tool for that,
Yeah.
uh, right? And
For yes.
So
I
if you
thank
can
you.
just, Vaibhav, if you can just spend 10 seconds on your company and your product, so it would give everyone a background from where you are coming to.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Vaibhav is founder of a company. They have got a wearable device for senior citizens. Especially that is something a unique product Vaibhav's company has. So Vaibhav, over to you.
Yes, we have our product called Watch Me. Um, it is a safety smartwatch which is focused on basically safety, but obviously it has a lot of daily use features
Okay.
because emergencies don't happen every day, and we have a small some activity monitor also, but we do not compete with the fitness watches. We totally and totally focus on the safety aspect, and that if at all an emergency happens, then the device should take care of it automatically. Pressing a button in case of an SOS actually requires military training.
No, Vaibhav, I don't know if you were participating in my initial part of the talk where I spoke about being unique. Now, of course, it is not unique, your future of security. I've seen that other places, but I would suggest you harp on that because if you were to compare the uniqueness between security and safety versus fitness,
See,
as
I
a
am
bloody
see I am a hardcore engineer, and that's what I have been in image processing and computer vision and everything. Okay, this idea came, and I thought this was pressing enough. After the Nirbhaya incident, obviously a lot of smart, some apps came and went. Okay,
correct,
but I was focused, and I actually spent a good part, about an year, trying to convince myself and try to develop a specification
yeah,
that what should I do? Because I was convinced that in India, people are not going to pay for a safety app.
hmm,
Nobody is going to pay for an app, and that if I have to really do something worthwhile, then at that, and this was many years ago, and that time, variables were not in the fashion, so I convinced myself that we had to develop a variable. And but obviously it was a bootstrap model, and obviously this was not something that we were doing. We actually make our typical business in, we make software for American company for automated microscopes. Okay, so this was something that we were doing on the side, but now the product has actually matured, and we had really a hard time to find a hardware platform for our solution.
right,
We tried very hard to find something in India, but we had to go to China, and even there, to get something, we had to dilute our some specifications also because of the uniqueness aspect.
right,
We went there to get a hardware customized, but
right.
we found out that we will probably lose whatever money we have, and we will not get anything.
I see. So,
If we are not Apple, or if we are not directly going ordering them, let's say 1 lakh pieces, they would just fleece the money out of us.
right,
That was the complete inference that we made, and then we went for something. Okay, whatever you have it on the shelf, we'll use it. So we diluted some of our specifications, but still we managed many of the things so that the product has enough uniqueness, and people who are interested can go to watchme.in. One of the most unique things about us is that we do not use the internet. We do not steal anybody's data. We process all the data on the device itself, so it is much more robust, and it is much more trustworthy, because I have actually seen Chinese websites, Chinese solutions saying, oh, what is our uniqueness? Our uniqueness is that we do not use Chinese servers. So I said, come on. So that's what we do, and so we it would take a long time to go into everything, but our product is focused on small children, like 4 to 10 years, and senior citizens, like about people, let's say, and like who can go out for a walk, but the family is concerned that if something happens to them, so they should know. and
Yeah.
there have been a lot of situations where people are just like fallen by the side, and they have been lying there unconscious, and so a safety watch should take care of. And I must say that we had filed a patent also, and our specifications are actually better than Apple if you take out the hard part of it. But obviously we didn't have I don't have enough resources to get those things executed. Maybe someday I will. But for example, one uniqueness thing which we still want to add is that if you are doing it, we want to know if foul language is being spoken around it. If you are concerned that your son is going out, or somebody, and they are playing with some children who are using foul languages with them, or and they're getting influenced. So if that can be an onboard offline solution, okay, because these devices have lesser memory, lesser battery, so they cannot be using the cloud based this thing. So that's a technical challenge that we have not been able to solve right now, but in terms of uniqueness, we have plans to do it later. So our solution is very unique in that part. So we are starting a trial commercial order, and
Right.
we hope. So this is the first time. So that's what I meant, that I'm a hardcore engineer, but this is the first time and thanks to Chintan that I'm getting to attend some very insightful webinars. That first time I'm actually attending sales and marketing seminars.
But I'll tell you something, Vaibhav, from all that you said, which is all sounding amazing and very exciting, I want to tell you, you got two things going for you. Apart from the fact that it's a unique because you're doing offline and all of that stuff, once you finally accomplish that, the other aspect that's going to go great guns for you is that you are basing something based on fear. People are emotional and they take decisions when you are able to impact emotions. So if you say, Mera beta will be safe, or my dad will be okay,
Mm.
you are touching a very soft point, and that is very powerful in sales. So
Yeah.
you are on the right track as far as that is concerned.
Because one thing I can take your advice on that is that, see, since the product was initially born out of the philosophy of the
Yeah,
Nirbhaya incident,
yeah,
but I thought that, and this has a feature that, okay, if let's say somebody kidnaps a female subject
yeah,
and tries to sexually assault,
yeah,
the device can actually automatically warn
yeah,
if somebody is standing and then they have fallen down. Okay, and let's say if it is a security guard of the, okay, and the building complexes like in Noida, etc., they can have from 500 to about 5,000 flats. They are almost mini cities, mini wards. Okay,
yeah.
so in that situation, sexual assaults by people like that can happen. uh, but my thinking so far has been that if I try to market it, that will be a negative marketing.
No, no, but that's what I'm trying to explain to you. If you look at fear, it's a very great motivator.
Because I'm seeing marketing by Goki smartwatch, and they are trying to sell their smartwatch, which like has blood oxygen and everything. But it is people have almost lost fear of corona. Okay, they are taking precautions and everything. Fine. So trying to scare them, and which this fear is probably gonna last another 3-4 months till vaccines start roll out and everything. So I was quite amused by that. I said, I'm trying to shy away from negative marketing. And here is somebody, they are cashing in on fear, on a temporary fear, which is not going to be there after a few months. It is almost not there right now. People are taking precautions, but they are not that scared. Oh my God, I want to have my blood oxygen monitor. Okay, if I'm really sick, if, that much fear. Only people who are there in home quarantine, and then they are taking care of through a pulse oximeter, through an oximeter. They don't need a smartwatch. I don't need a smartwatch to go around with me telling my blood oxygen. Okay, if I'm capable enough to move around, my blood oxygen is quite good. But it's still, but still, there is a company. Obviously, they have made their investments and everything. They have thought through that. So that was something I was watching. That I'm not trying to sell through fear, but somebody else is trying to sell to temporary fears of the customer. So,
Until human beings do not evolve consciously to go beyond their fears, there will always be a marketing agency that will cash in on that. Now
mm,
you take the business decision whether you want to do that or not.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
whether it's unethical to do that, that's your call. Okay,
Yeah, that I was just evaluating. I didn't know, so I'm just to think. So right now, I have not
Vaibhav,
used such things. So,
yeah, Vaibhav, just seconding Rishi's point and not trying to teach anything, but
mm,
this is actually a good way of, unless you are into charity.
mm. That's right. That's right.
So,
See,
so
there
if you are
are.
into
See,
business,
that's
this is
right.
one great motivators, and you actually should be thinking about this because since you belong to one community now, TMI, so I
Mm,
think maybe as an elder
mm.
or very,
That's right. I'm because right now I'm thinking of because
let's not
I will be
stick to
designing.
30 days.
I'll be designing my social media marketing and some creatives and things like that. Obviously, this could be one part of it. So far, I had not thought of
Perfect.
doing it like that and kind of doing positive marketing. But I could think of something like that.
something Weber.
Obviously, I am a businessman. I have to sell my product. I have to make it big.
Absolutely,
In
absolutely.
fact, I'll
So
tell
you,
you something, Weber, that will just go and show you and explain to you why fear is still powerful and why it still works. As I said, until human beings don't evolve and go beyond fear, there will be a certain segment of the market which will not care about it. But there
Mm,
is number. I was watching this social dilemma movie, which is all on social media, how social media is being misused for so many things. Now, even the guy that actually created this so-called, thumbs up like button, the like option, he says when we first came up with the idea, we had no idea that it is going to go where it has gone today. The like button was thought of, hey, let's cheer somebody up and say, hey, lovely, nice post, lovely video, blah. So like, right? So it was thought with positivity in mind. But today, because human being levels of consciousness is, really low, today, and they find this more in women than men, and especially teenage girls, if they don't get enough likes than their other peers,
mm, mm,
they are being suicidal. I mean, now it is, यार ये like button को निकाल दो यार, ये problem हो गया. I mean, if people don't get likes, then they're feeling कि I'm useless, I'm a faltu, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, and they're getting.
mm,
So when I saw that movie, I was like, oh my god, the level of consciousness that human beings have is still freaking low,
mm,
and
mm,
and they're not yet grown up.
mm.
And so now you might go back and think this is negative marketing or whatever, but that is reality.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Rishi sir. Hi. So it's less of a question and more of a problem that I'm facing.
Yeah.
My friend has written this book and it just came out a couple of days ago. Now, I told him that I'll market the book for him. My
Yeah.
issue with this is that I need to market it on Facebook. Obviously, I can't do it on LinkedIn. It's a thriller genre, so it is obviously going to be a mass marketing thing.
Yeah.
Now, I want to market it to a specific group of avid readers only. I don't
Yes.
want to market it to everyone because nobody's going to reply and so on and so further.
Correct.
How can I use something like Sales Navigator that is available on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or say Instagram or something like that?
Sales Navigator is on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I understand. But is there a similar feature
In
on
Facebook?
Facebook? Yeah.
No, they have interest level. So you can behave. So Facebook is behavior, and LinkedIn is titles, industries, profile based. So
Hmm.
if you want to do profile based corporates, then LinkedIn is your place to be. If you want to do behavior, thinking, patterns of thought processes, then Facebook is better. That AI will give you better results. So what is the genre you said of the book?
Thriller.
Thriller. So then you'll have to look, I don't know, type thriller to see if that's a interest level. So you'll have to see interests of other top selling thrillers and see if those people who are reading those books are probably interested in those type of thrillers. So you can go look at the top thriller books or top movies and then capture that audience and then target the ad on that audience for them to feel like,
Fair enough.
and you can say that get the first chapter for free and see. So then you'll get a lot of inquiries and leads based on giving away the first chapter. And that is if the first chapter is got enough to get the guy to say, I want to read the next chapter now.
No, I've read the book. A couple of things do have that.
Yeah.
So again, for a follow up to that would be key. Is there a free resource with which I can do all of this, or do I have to specifically pay? Because it's his first book. He's already invested a couple of lakhs in the publishing and everything. So I don't want him to spend more money in the marketing around. So is there a free resource that I can exploit around this?
I don't know of a free resource on Facebook. No. If I'll do one thing. I'll try and find something. Can you? This one was a very specific question, so I don't know whether I should address it to all. I don't know. Then what do you recommend? I address this question to everybody in the list, or maybe just the
Just
Manav.
Madhan? Okay,
Manav.
Manav.
Okay. So Manav, I can publish my email address. You can just send
I
me.
have actually connected with you on LinkedIn as well. I'll send you a message on that, and I'll also connect with you on email.
Perfect, fabulous, great.
Rishi works on that email transaction very well. So in case if you leave one message, definitely he makes sure that he answers it. So that is something unique thing. We don't scan each and every mail, but this is something. I mean, he is very good at it, and then so anything if you want his attention, then just write one email, and you will definitely get a response.
In fact, I'd like to use this opportunity to do a little quick sell, if I may, Chintan. May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I actually have a course. It's a free course, so I'm not selling anything in that sense. Don't believe me, I'm selling.
Then it's already bought.
I'm selling always. Even when I'm selling something for free, I'm still selling. So I'm gonna paste this little link over here. This is a brand new course I launched a few days back called Inbox Zero. Okay, and I have developed methods of getting my inbox down to zero before I go to sleep. Okay, and this little short course which I've pasted on the chat here, which I'll again paste to everybody in the list, is how to get your inbox down to zero. So actually, email is very, very powerful if you know how to use some of the tools that are built in. And so that's why Chintan, when he's explaining that I'm able to respond really very well on email, is because I use some of these tools called, which I compiled as part of Inbox Zero, which is all about getting your mailbox down to zero before you hit the bed. And LinkedIn also, if you connect with me, I do reply, because for me, everything is a business opportunity. But yeah, as Chintan says, I'm faster on email because I'm checking that, like 40 times a day. LinkedIn, I check it maybe twice a day. So that way I'm faster on email. But take a look at this course, which I've just started, called Inbox Zero. And you guys, all of you can enroll for it. It's about 20 minutes, not more than that, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I've got lots of feedback. I just launched it a few days back. Got a lot of feedback requesting for adding more, discussing more features of Gmail, so that we can reply to emails at the end of the day and be done with all emails. So the powerful tools, take a look at it and see if that helps. But yeah, send me an email. That would be great. Or even LinkedIn is fine. I'll try and see if I can find out some free alternatives for you on Facebook to help your friend promote this book. I don't know if there is one, but I'll try and see if I can find one.
Okay. And lastly, let's say if I were to compile an email list and send it to people for reading this particular book,
yeah,
what would be a good subject line for that list so that people open the email?
What's the name of the book?
The Case of the Known Unknown.
And I would look at something in which are something. So the book title doesn't make me raise my eyebrows, but you have to find something that will like, ye kya hai? Somebody has got to go with that. I can't. I'm not able to be creative on the spot. But maybe if we can, you can tell me some part of the book at some point at a later stage.
Sure.
I can come up with some ideas.
Here's what I can do. I can ask my friend, and I can send you an email as well. I can get him on board as well, and then maybe we can have a discussion around this.
Yes. There are some very nice techniques to come up with subject lines. Mind mapping is one of them. There's a Chintan will connect you with a guy called Dharmendra Rai. Did he do a mind map session or only invisible
Yes,
selling?
yes. He had invisible selling as well as mind map both.
Mind mapping. So I have attended his workshop, mind mapping, twice, and in that you're able to create words which will lead to more words, and then suddenly you'll hit your. It's a creativity tool basically, mind mapping. Since if you have attended his program, so it's very good in terms of coming up with ideas. Mind mapping is one tool. Definitely, you can try that for sure.
Thank you. Thank you
Great,
so much.
great. Any other questions?
Me, sir, me.
Oh
One
yes,
last
yes,
question,
yes.
Rishi,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Sir, sir, when we have discussed how to do emails, when when we know the target audience, when we know now here I have been handed over a project which is a very massive project of alternate energy, where we are giving solar to the entire country, and and it's going to be a zero investment model. So it's a very new thing which we are doing, where we are routing the foreign investments, and we are uh, giving the panels without investment to the clients based on their crystal rating and based on certain things, and we charge them a certain unit cost, opex models. Now our vision over the next 10 years is to get at least the country should be have start generating at least 50 to 70% clean energy.
Wow, that's a
Yes,
huge goal. Yeah.
yes, sir. So, yes, sir, yes, sir. So, with this kind of mission and this kind of we have the resources, we have the entire setup, we have the panels and everything ready, already invested in. How to how to launch it? It's not launched. We've already done 40 sample projects successfully. Now we are going to be branding it. Like we had this was a trial session of 40 projects where Kotak Mahindra and 3M, these type of companies we had done. So all tier one companies, and now we want to open it for masses, for the government sector, and so this kind of project, how should my marketing approach be? Because I'm the one who's leading this project, and I know digital marketing, I've learned, but I've this is still it has to be a very narrowed down thing, where I'll have to take care of the details as well as on how the entire ecosystem will work.
Yeah, I think at any given point of time, any campaign that you want to do, whether the medium could be multiple, the messaging has to be the benefit statement. That is, of course, number one. So as long as the benefit statement is catchy, then you'll get the attention, whether you use advertising, whether you use one-on-one connections with the key decision makers of large companies on LinkedIn, or whether you do
That's exactly what I've done. I've narrowed down the marketing USPs from 12 to 4, where the moment people read these 4 sentences, they have to revert back. That's the kind of intrigue we are creating with those 4 sentences. But now when I'm sending an email, I cannot just send those 4 sentences. Those 4 sentences are my USPs, where I have where I wanted to keep my information very less. I did not want to load the client with a lot of information on the first thing. Only after being interested in this project, once they revert back, they get the entire brochure.
Kajal,
My
Kajal.
first hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so what you will have to do is you will have to identify the buyer persona along with these marketing USPs. So now
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
I think he's frozen. He still wanted to say something. I think his video is stuck. He probably wanted to say something more. I think can you state the 4 benefit statements? You've boiled down to 4, right? What are the 4 statements?
The first statement is zero capital and zero capital investment and operating investment.
Huh?
Capex
Zero
and
capital.
zero capex and opex. No investment in solar panels. That means
Second
no
one,
investment. Second point is electricity bill. The cost of electricity bill reduces by 30 to 50% minimum.
fantastic. Third one,
Free maintenance for life.
fantastic. Fourth one,
Uh, enjoy fixed electricity cost for next 25 years. वहाँ पे मैंने स्टार में लिखा है government raises its electricity cost by 7 to 10% every year.
This is terrific. So you got 4 campaigns going.
Yes, sir. But when I'm designing my email, I'm sitting with my team. I have narrowed down to 4 sentences. But अब मुझे वो email को intriguing बनाना है थोड़ा सा. Where these 4 are going to be my hero.
No. I'm saying these are 4 campaigns. You have to boil it down to one message at a time. You think people can take more information. Trust me, one is a lot. One sentence is a lot. So out of those 4, each one is a separate campaign. Don't think of it मैं सब 4 पैक को एक ही में भेजूं. नहीं. People's attention span is frightfully small. One powerful message is enough. We can't take more than one. So you got 4 campaigns to run and see which one works the best. So you take
okay, sir. Understood, sir.
Take 4 separate campaigns and run it. Run this one, run this one, run this one, run this one, and then see which gave you maximum benefits where. Then permutation and combination. But these are 4 separate campaigns as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I was trying to boil them down in one, and I was trying to, but वो overpower कर ले रहा है एक दूसरे को. हर एक highlight होके नहीं आ रहा है वो सबके सब.
Just because you'll get one guy on one sentence, you'll get another guy on another one. But each 4 are very powerful. All your 4 statements are very powerful. They're independent campaigns by themselves. You'll hit
I used mind map to come down. After 20, from 20, I reduced to 12, then reduced to 4.
Great, very good. And it's quite possible that you might have more than 4 which are good, which will capture more people. But their separate campaigns is the key takeaway. They're separate campaigns. Don't think of it as one. आप compact करके सारे एक में मत भेजो. They are separate campaigns. You're lucky. You have 4 different communication messages to go at different times, capturing different audiences. So if you go back at the 12 or 20 that you have and see there are more powerful ones, but separate campaigns, खर्चा extra हो जाएगा, but worthwhile because you'll get one guy.
मार्केटिंग और डिजिटल की इन हाउस टीम है रिटेनरशिप पे, तो उन लोग से फिर मतलब एक करवाओ 4 करवाओ एक ही बात है.
नहीं, खर्चा तो करना पड़ेगा.
नो इन-हाउस मार्केटिंग है लेकिन फेसबुक लिंक्डइन का खर्चा तो रहेगा ना.
हाँ सर, वो तो है.
You can't really get away. I mean, there's some amount you can do on free, but there is at some point you're going to make money, so you have to invest in that. Of course, you don't want to spend more money than you make money, of course. So you want to look at those numbers, but I don't think you can get away by not spending money, because at the end of the day, all these platforms, whether it's email, Facebook, LinkedIn, they all want to make money, right? You'll have
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At some point, yeah.
So, sir, I understood. I'll have to put them separately. I'm trying to put them all in one. That is why I'm not able to make sense out of it. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
That is where I said that you will have to match each of these with a buyer persona.
Correct.
See, just think of think of me. I mean, would you market your product by all 4 sentences, or you will pick one sentence for audience of Mumbai and one sentence for audience of Aurangabad?
Correct.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir. I'll have to narrow down my target audience as per each campaign. Okay, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You'll have to develop the buyer persona around it. Okay. Anyway, so now last question. Who would like to go ahead and share a query question for Rishi? Last question of the day. Jitendra ji.
I think I would like to connect with Rishi for maybe monetized kind of an engagement. So Rishi, of course, I always would look forward for some free offerings as well, but otherwise.
Sure. I'll put my email and phone number on the chat if you want to get in touch.
No, but otherwise, as an organization, I think this makes a lot of sense, and it would be such a waste to not utilize your wisdom in our organization.
Thank you.
We'll connect, definitely.
Sure. Looking forward to that. Great.
So now we come to the end of the session. And on behalf of everyone, I would request if Parvez can extend vote of thanks on behalf of TMI community and all participants of the day. Parvez.
Right. So, thank you, Rishi. Very interesting session. Very frankly, I was not very aware of many of these things. So, it's been quite an eye opener for me, to come to know about all these things. And thank you for the session and the points that you communicated and the way you communicated and the way you've addressed the various practical questions that people have raised regarding this. Really great to see that. And on behalf of the TMI community, thank you very much for that. Look forward to receiving the other communication or email that you'll be sending
Yes.
to us. So thank you very much for such an enlightening session.
Welcome.
And thanks,
Thanks,
Intellectual.
Parvez. Thanks, Parvez. Thanks,
Yeah. Thank
Rishi.
you so much.
So this was our last webinar for the month of November. Now we have an exciting month of December coming up, where we are going to learn how do you make a CRM in Excel? How can you do data analytics in Excel? What is quantum compute? And then we are going to have another session by Rishi on how do you market market using WhatsApp and mass emailing. And the last one we are going to have is by Brigadier J.K. Tiwari on the 7E framework. So look forward for the registration information. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and Sunday ahead. Thanks for your time. Bye bye. Thanks, Rishi.
Thanks,
So much.
Chintan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thanks.
much,
Bye.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.